Okay, so we're looking at E. Cummings, who is Lost Generation, which is during modernism. I'm looking at the poem In Just, and one of the first things that you notice about this poem is that there's all these crazy spaces in there, right? Or a lack thereof. So, in just spring. And it's almost like in just when that with that dash is like a pullback and then a let go. And there's a spring, with that space, the big space between. I'm going to put it into words in a second. When the world is mud luscious, and later on we have puddle wonderful. E. Cummings is known for whimsical word creation and you've got that example of the dash and the space behind spring that are like an actual spring, okay? Then you've got in that separated line between the two stanzas, which is like a stanza unto itself, but you see that far is far away from the other words. Why do you think far is far? Far is far because far is far. Okay, and then the next line, Eddie and Bill. No, we're getting to that. We're getting to the Beat Generation later. It's not even like that. It's not even like that. You'll see in a second. Eddie and Bill, look. Eddie and Bill is all one word. It's all together. So why are Eddie and Bill all together? Because they're always together. That's right. They're like best friends, primos. You know, you never see one without the other. It says Eddie and Bill, Eddie and Bill. Same thing with Betty and Isabel, right? Okay, this is what Cummings is famous for. Communicating tone, imagery, meaning through the visual aspects of a poem. Okay, let me write that down.
So is that what whimsical means?
No, that's something different. That's one. Whimsical is like almost childlike, fun. Whimsy is I do it because I like it. If you do it on a whim, you did it because you wanted to. Communicating tone, imagery, meaning. It's like all these poetic elements, through the visual aspects of a poem. In other words, Cummings wants you to be able to look at the poem and know what it says. Now that wasn't true with Eliot, right? Eliot had you had to get out the dictionary. You had to know your Bible a little bit. There's some biblical references. There's some Shakespeare. Right off the bat, it's like Dante and you got Virgil, and you got to know your ancient Greek and Roman mythology. Oh, it's like you got to know all of world literature history to read Eliot. What do you have to have done to understand Cummings?
Like I think you know what he's famous for.
You have to have been a child. That's it. Because if you've been a child, then you look at something and take meaning from what it looks like, right? Well, in a sense, but not in the literary sense of imagination, right?
Like my daughter has this.
Because this isn't necessarily symbolic, right? I want to make sure that you guys understand this, because he wants you to be able to look at the poem and have the visual of the poem communicate what it means. Eddie and Bill are one word because they're always together. They're like one person. Far is far because far is far. You know, spring in just spring is like a spring because that's how we visualize, that's how children might visualize spring. Blooms springing forth. Now I can spring outside because it's beautiful. Like, in order to best experience Cummings, all you have to have done is to have grown up or to have been a child. Maybe still even have some of that childlike element with you. Because, what is it? The Balloon Man. Okay. The one sort of literary illusion that we have here is the goat-footed balloon man. Potential reference to Pan here. Pan, the the flute-playing satyr who, seduces nymphs, and brings the party for Dionysus, the god of wine. So Pan is sort of famous in mythology as